So hello fellow Earthlings, this is Earthling 6455463728. And I think that success, especially financial success, can screw with you. I think what I wanted to talk about now, I wasn't really sure. It's like two different things. On the one hand, success determines how you see the world. So for example, I probably have talked about this before, but I have two friends and they're from university, and we went to the same university for our bachelor's degrees. And I have one friend, he is getting paid really well as someone in the field of AI for a big firm. And I have another friend who went to Harvard, and he's involved in the UN and UN related that kind of area. And so basically they've done pretty well for themselves at this point in life financially. And I don't mean to say that this is me being jealous and looking at their success and being like, oh, you've changed, oh, you suck now. What I mean to say is that both of my friends have this idea, I think, that the way that things are is good to an extent in the world. And they see that my take on many things is pessimistic. So for example, I haven't done as well financially as they have. Definitely, by any marker, I haven't done as well. And as a matter of fact, I've had a number of financial failures in terms of I wanted to start a newspaper, a local newspaper. It didn't work. In terms of programming company that I wanted to start, that hasn't really worked out as well. In terms of the stock market, trading stocks, I have repeatedly not done that well at that. But I would say I've had other successes, not large financial successes, but successes, things that I've done that I feel really proud of, that I've achieved. And I don't think that actually that has much to do with it for me in terms of my pessimism, because I feel like I've always tried to expect the worst, but to prepare as if I'm aiming for the best. So the best case scenario, but to settle my mind to say, hey, take in the worst case scenario and expect that, but strive for the best. But I think with respect to my friends, they have done extremely well in terms of where they might have started out from financially. And for me, where I started out was never really great, and I haven't really done too much better than that, if at all. Yeah. But when it comes to certain topics, for example, are we going to be able to handle climate change and tackle it and achieve climate change? Or what is the future with respect to AI? How fast is it going to go? Or whether or not or how less developed countries can progress, or if they can. On a variety of topics, my friends say that I'm pessimistic. And when I try to think of why is it that we might have these two different points of view as to the likelihood of amazing success in these certain areas that I mentioned, or things just stagnating, the main thing that I come up with is that my friends' lives have progressively been, especially financially, better and better. And as they are getting older and older, their lives and what they have is getting better and better. And for me, not really so much. And I think that, and I don't want to say lack of failure, because I'm sure they've had failure in their lives, but not to the extent that I might have. Because I used to be, in spite of what I said about expecting the worst and striving for the best, I used to have a kind of Pollyanna view of the world in terms of something will happen, something great will happen. Especially if I push really, really hard, something great will happen anyway. In some circumstances, that's been my point of view. And when you have that point of view, that something will work out and something will happen, and boom, nothing happens. You get to the end of the line. There's nowhere else to go. There's no more time. And you just have to accept, go home, you lost. When that happens a number of times, I guess you start to take a harder look at your assumptions, perhaps, and you realize, hey, maybe I could have seen this coming. Maybe based on the trajectory of how these things were going, I could have seen that this was not going to end well. For example, the way that people can get into a relationship and they can be head over heels for the person, and they can know that, okay, this will be a problem, or that might be a problem, or this might be a problem, but love will conquer all. And they don't try to figure out, okay, these things might be a problem, let's start fixing them. And they just assume that things will work themselves out. And because they didn't prepare, or because they failed to prepare, they should prepare to fail, because the same things that they knew were a problem initially, but the euphoria of love makes you ignore those things. But when everything falls down and you take a hard look at it again, you see that, hey, this thing isn't going to fix itself. If you don't fix it, it's not going to be fixed. And there's nobody coming to fix it for you. And I think that with respect to my friends, they have worked hard to achieve the things that they have achieved. And I can't say specifically that, they are deserving of what they've achieved. Am I deserving of what I didn't achieve? I think so, personally, because I worked hard too, but the things that I wanted to achieve, the ones that I didn't, there are things that I did achieve, in terms of like losing weight, in terms of small projects, habits that I wanted to break, in terms of, just in general, I guess. They're like little projects that, like right now, I'm even trying to learn Korean. And there are other things that people might not look at them to me, like, for example, taking care of my uncle and making sure he's at least relatively healthy, and beyond simply just losing weight, being actually fit, and having, I guess, a body that I like, aside from just being a lot thinner, and being able to have a certain, much more stamina, I suppose, and an idea about how to exercise. Anyway, yeah, I need to make a list of things that I'm proud of. But at any rate, I think that the comparatively, the much bigger success that my friends have had makes them think that things eventually work out, when they don't always have to end up working out. And also, the things that they might believe are going to be different from the things that I believe, because I see that, like if somebody from like The Rock tells you, yeah, all you have to do is work hard, and you realize that no, you have to be a little bit lucky too, then the next time you don't really believe The Rock, because you've seen for yourself. It's like the Wizard of Oz, somebody's pulled the curtain aside and you see that it's not just belief in yourself that matters. So a lot of the things that my friends still believe in, I don't, because I have tried. And it's not just belief in yourself. You have to sometimes have certain characteristics that have nothing to do with your ability to change them. You have to just sometimes be in the right place at the right time. And you only have a certain amount of time to try to be in the right place at the right time. And if the amount of time that you have to do that isn't enough, then you're not going to succeed. And that's luck. That's beyond your control. So I think that success can really skew how we see the world, success or lack thereof. And I kind of agree with the psychologists that say that, well, I don't know that I'm depressed, but they say that the people who are depressed can see the world a little bit more realistically. And maybe people who've endured failure can see the world a little more realistically. Anyway, guys, you can wish me luck. So you can like or unlike, comment, subscribe, and or share. And it'll make me sad. But of course, you can also do nothing. Peace.